You know, the thing is, this is why we have people on the outside, because they can see us clearly and they reflect things that we can't see. So when someone says something, instead of taking it as an affront, take it clean and use it to see. Assume that they're always telling you the truth, that someone's giving you love. And that's how you start to open to your blind spots. If you've constantly got a defense, it means you're not trusting. If you've always got a defense, it means you're not open to receive. If you've always got a defense, you're projecting your ego. And the whole essence of this system is to let your ego go. So you listen with the intention of transformation. It's very important, this. People that do this all the time, that are always negative, or think they're right, or want to have an argument, or wish to discuss it, or to deflect it, they're never open to grow. You have to be like this. Okay, I look at that. And you have to trust on the outside the people are giving you love. Especially in these situations. When you're in one of my centres, no? Everyone's not focused on the same thing. Growing, being more, and pushing each other to be more. So you say yes. Oh, I'm going to go in, I'm going to look at that. And for sure it's true. And if you need to defend it, it's absolutely true.
I have a boyfriend and I'm going to leave my country. I want to know if this distance is not boycotting the relationship.
And I'm lost. You're leaving your country to do something else. And your boyfriend's staying in Chile. Okay, so what's the question?
If the distance will affect the relationship.
You know, the thing's this. If you're mature, no. But if you need someone with you all the time, to support you, to feel loved, to have intimacy, if you don't have the power to be alone, the relationship won't last. In a mature relationship, the distance is often good. It keeps everything alive. But if you're needy and immature, you'll always be looking for someone else. So you have to be clear about that. Is this relationship important for me? Is my relationship with myself important for me? Do I feel secure leaving this relationship? Or do I want to hold on to it? Or do I let go of it? You know, you have to make these decisions. You know, for young people, you start wandering. And they're like that. You're going out partying, you're getting new opportunities, you know, your hormones are running, and the boyfriend's a million miles away. You know, maybe it won't work. Maybe you won't be there for him. Or maybe you're in a very committed relationship and you're happy to be with him from the distance. You have to make those decisions. Yeah? That's the best answer I have.
It was a moment looking at the ocean, I had a certainty, very strong. I'm a very controlling person. Several of you know this already. But I had a certainty, strong, that everything is fine, that everything as is planned, and I just have to live and enjoy. Wow. And this certainty for me comes from God, from the Creator I call God. And everything is planned. The day I arrive, the day I will live, wherever I belong. And I want you to tell me about everything planned and God.
You know, everything changes. That you have the power to change everything. But really what transpires is of no consequence. It's what you're being in each moment. And that's the surrender to God, to the flow, to the change. It's not that every detail's written. It will be like this, it will be like this, it will be like this. It's constantly you're creating something new. But you're correct with one thing. Everything's perfect. Because this is an illusion. And the essence of the game is to have fun. You know, humans take everything so seriously, with so much fear and so much control and so much attachment that they can't flow. You know, if you look at nature, it's flowing all the time. It's playing all the time. There's no judgment. It's with that, like that with all the planet. But the humans, complicated. Complicated to have fun. Complicated to let go. Complicated to flow. Complicated to trust. There's no confidence. So you have to find that internally. And people are very negative because they feel if they're negative, they don't have expectations. And if they don't have expectations, they're not going to be hurt. But the point of the matter is, if you're negative, you're already hurting yourself because you don't experience joy. And look, when you talk like this, look how happy you are. Look how free you are. And this is how life should be. Just to flow and to trust. And everything unfolds perfectly. Because it's about your attitude. It's about your attitude. It's not about what's happening. Good.
Hola.
Hi. When I was looking at the ocean, I felt as a unity, as it's not separated. And it was moving all together. And I had a clarity there. I had been having of the dissatisfaction, this thing of looking in the outside. Since some time ago, is the focus only within? Can you talk a bit about it?
Well, if you're focused internally, you're in that plenitude all the time. So the eye of criticism or the idea of expectation, it starts to diminish because you start to flow within the perfection. But if you're constantly looking externally, it's constantly changing. And then the judgments come and the conflict comes. If you can just surrender to the moment, nothing changes. Everything's wonderful because you're flowing, because you're in touch with that power internally. And you're witnessing. It's like that. It's like that. And you have to see that in all situations. Not just the ocean and the mountains, the traffic jams, the drama, the problems, the uncertainty. You have to find that certainty internally. Because that's where it lives. Inside of you. So yeah, you're doing great. Good girl.
Hi, Isha. How to know when that is you go from you are not surrendered, that you are surrendered and not resignated, no? That you
It comes from joy. It's a higher choice. And when you make that higher choice, you feel happy with yourself. Because you know in your heart, I'm choosing something new. It's not resignation. Resignation is the voice of the victim. You feel like a victim. Oh, well, this is my lot. What else can I do? That's resignation. Surrender, I let go, and I trust. It's a higher choice. I trust. And it comes from joy. Because all the pressure leaves. When you're attached, even to an idea of how things should be, you suffer. When you let go, what happens? Oh, great. Así es.
During this year, I was supporting the kids sick with cancer using the system, families and the kids and the caretakers. I touch places very strong. I saw myself, what else can I do for these people? They were very calm, they remain calm, but I want to continue. I don't want to see myself wanting to save them, no, I want to be more anchored in myself. I was living calm, but I will arrive home and started crying. The kids very happy when I was teaching. They were seeing me, you arrived, you arrived. They were thrilled by it. The parents also, when we were doing the circle of expression, they were sharing all what they were going through and were supported.
So who are the greatest teachers in this situation? Obvious. Why?
Because they have that problem, but they are happy.
Because they're in the moment? Because they don't perceive the problem. In this moment, everything's perfect. I have cancer. But they don't understand the consequences. Or they're not afraid of the consequences. Because they live in love. They live in faith. They live in trust. In fact, the most interesting thing is when children are sick, they start worrying about their parents because they can see the suffering. But they're not experiencing that because they know who they are. They haven't lost that. They don't feel like victims. They feel complete within themselves. So look at that and see your attachment to how things should be. And let go. Yeah. And teach the parents that too.
I want you to talk a bit. What do you think? Or what concept you have about death and after death? Because before going through what I lived, I was very, very afraid of death. ¿Y ahora? No. Buenísimo. But I want to know what is beyond death. How does it look?
After I die, I'll come and tell you.
But what concept you have?
I don't have a concept. I know that I am everything. I know I never came. I know I never left. And all of it's illusionary. I have no fear of death, no fear of life, because it's all the same. But I have a profound experience of unconditional love. And I know that I'm everything. And that's when the absolute fear leaves. When you awaken to the greatness of who you really are. So what I experience doesn't even make sense to the head. It just is. It just is. This moment.
That something to happen to my mother. I always had that fear. And with her, I act a lot from that place. If I say something, then I feel guilty because something can happen to her. Apego. I'm very, very attached. I always was, but now I want to detach, really.
Do it. When you see those thoughts, when you see that fear, you have to go in and you have to start giving that love to you. You know, you've grown up a lot and it's time to let go of mummy. You know, this is my external security. That's why you feel so resented with her as well. Because you feel she failed you. And all children go through that. Because they see their parents as gods, and then they start to see their humanity, and then they start to feel resented, and then they start to feel unsafe, because they see that their attachments are fragile. So, if the external attachment's fragile, what do I have to find? I have to find something deeper. Something much deeper. I have to find that which doesn't change, which is the essence of who I am. Yeah. Let mummy go.
Can you talk a little bit about claustrophobia? It's an experience of a lot of fear, panic. And in my family, we were several sisters claustrophobic, even my grandpa is a group of claustrophobic. My grandpa was in an underground lock to punish him, but they didn't close us anywhere, but we all were very afraid of darkness and these enclosures, essentially.
You know, it's like a panic attack. I've seen the most rational people on earth, the bravest people on earth, absolutely terrorized because they're enclosed. And this is a perfect thing with the facets, because you can start to dissolve that. Because really it's identical to having a panic attack. It's like all the fear comes to the surface, all the fear that's within you manifests, and it comes to the surface of your skin, no? And you can't breathe, you start sweating, you think you're going to die. Like, it's very extreme. Humans have these profound fears, and there's not always a reason. You know, people have profound fear of flying. And they've never had an accident in a plane. So where does it come from? It's just that we project the fear externally. And probably, since you were a child, you heard about this. We pick up a lot of things from our parents. You imagine many years ago, the power of religion, that burning in hell and not going to heaven and you're going to be punished. People grow up with a fear of God because they've listened to it all their lives. This is what happens if you're not good. And it's not their reality, but they live with guilt and fear. Because humans have fear. And it always manifests somewhere. Some people are afraid of the ocean. Some people are afraid of a frog. It doesn't make sense. It just is. But you just need to surrender to it. And try to dissolve it. And confront it.
Hi, Isha. I'm super happy with the connection with the ocean. It's infinite. And there is a phrase of you that is, I love that you say that love is the ocean and the fear a drop. And that I take it within. I want you to tell me about my nightmares. I feel when I am in a new place, it happens that the energy is so big, and I have nightmares without remembering them. But now, as is happening with my roommates, they are terrorized because I scream in the middle of the night big time. And my sister knows me, but the other people know. So can you talk about that?
You know, clearly you're moving a lot of stress because of the energy and because you're unifying so much. And that's all it is. It's just that. And if your roommates are getting terrorized, they need to move their stress too. It's a simple thing.
Now that you were doing the question about the family, I see my family, my mother's side, women, very powerful. And there is like a putting down the men. My sister has that, my mother, my grandma, and me too. I have one brother and a nephew, and they receive all that energy, and they are extremely insecure. And they don't like women, and they love the family. So there is a weird thing like this. How can I move through that family things?
Through appreciating. You need to start appreciating them. This is how machismo starts too. The men putting down the women. Because the mothers do it. It's just the reverse. And you have to appreciate. You have to love. It's the only way. So the grandchildren don't learn those things. You know, everything's hereditary. How we treat our children, how they treat their children, what's important for our parents, what we make important for our parents. You know, we keep passing it down. And we have to have consciousness. And we have to see that our judgments don't have any validity. And let them dissolve. And activate appreciation. And then everything starts to change. It's not that there's something wrong. This always happens. You know, I came from a very matriarchal family. Like the women were brilliant and powerful in their minds. But the men in my life, like my father, he was like a god. He was so unconditionally supportive, so loving, so giving. He was almost a saint. And he had to put up with all these evil women that were actually insecure, but pretending they were Amazons. And he just kept loving and loving and loving and loving. So who was the powerful one? My father. You know, at his funeral, there was like 300 women. Because he'd go and cut their lawns and he wasn't having sex with them. He was just a really nice person. You know, but we thought that was weak. I thought he was weak. And I realized that he was the most unconditionally person I knew. Mm.
Now that you're talking about the families, in my father's side are 3 brothers. And since my grandma died, they started fighting for money and other things. One of my cousins beat up my father. My father demanded him a giant drama. And I was telling my mom when we were coming, I feel sad that we cannot just feel love in between us and have fun as before, missing the Sundays sitting together. And I miss that, I want that, but I cannot do anything about it. I don't want to help my cousin, I don't want to say anything to my father. I'm in a place in the middle. I feel in a place in the middle, as if I feel sad for the family of my cousin that beat up my father, but also I don't feel to go and talk with them. I feel passive, and it doesn't come.
You know, you just have to love them unconditionally. This will pass. But this always happens in families. You know, fighting over money. It's because they can't cope with how they feel. The vulnerability, the loss. So they start looking for external security to feel important. And it happens in families all the time. And it's a very common thing. So you just be present. Don't get involved. Don't have expectations. And understand what they're going through. You know. And connect with what it makes you feel. Huh? Sure, of course. It's horrible. And it's usually they fight over stupid things. Not even just the money. You know, over a teapot. Because they can't grieve. They don't know how to connect with that. So they make everything external. Hmm?
Can you talk a bit about our creation? Because when I have the intention to create for more people, happens. But when I'm asking for something for myself, I feel afraid and I say, no, I don't deserve. And I say, why I can do it for the rest, but for me it's very hard.
When you give, it flows. It's natural for you. And it's just about opening the energy. But it's not important. Because you create what you want. You're creating big things. Isn't that for you? Isn't that your creation? What are you focusing on? Something else that you want? Don't you have what you need? What's missing? I think it's very heady. When you're in the energy of giving, everything starts to expand and flow. If you give to the giving, it always comes back. You don't need to analyze. That's like a place of victim, no? Oh, I give, and everything goes and flows. But that's your creation. Aren't you enjoying it? Isn't that giving to you? Oh, but I want a sports car. Huh? Do you? Oh, God. This is attachment. This is the Cinderella drama. When I get a boyfriend, then I will be complete. Yeah? Maybe you'll never get a boyfriend. Maybe you will be single for the rest of your life. So you better start enjoying it. Don't look at him, it's my boyfriend. What are you doing? Oh. You know, if you let go of the need, if you think like that, the boyfriend will come. But when you're attached and you're wanting and needing, he won't come. Or not the one you need. Yeah, just let go. They come. Men are easy. Just let go. There's billions of them. They're everywhere. Yeah, just let go. Let go. I'll tell you the secret to catching a man. Don't want one. Then they're like cats. If they think you don't want them, they're all over you. You can't get rid of them. But when you're like this, they don't want to come. Because they smell it. They smell that you're attached. They smell you want to get married and have children. They know it. Men are very smart. So just be indifferent. This is not consciousness. This is called female manipulation. And they come. They come in numbers. Trust me.
You were talking about panic attacks. And this time in the center, I had panic attacks. And so bad that I had to go to a psychiatrist. And now I'm on medication. And like I'm learning to surrender to that. But I also feel like there's this part of me where I feel it's hard to trust that I can go back to normal. Like, I was never normal, I know. No, but like, I feel very calm now, but I feel like it's fake. It's because of the pills.
You always want to have a drama. You're taking these pills because you need them in this moment, and this too can change. But enjoy it now. Stop worrying about the future. You know, obviously there's some chemical they're balancing. If you're having panic attacks, and it's perfect for you. There's nothing wrong with taking medication. It's not that you're disconnected. The thing that makes you suffer is you start thinking about it. Oh, it's fake. Oh, how long will I be on this? It doesn't matter. Just surrender. And it will change. Yeah. You feel better now?
Much better right now.
Great. So enjoy it. Stop worrying about it. What are the tablets?
Anxiety, something, I don't know.
Okay. Good. Good, good. Great. How long have you been taking them?
3 days.
Okay, so it's... How long did they say you had to take them?
Until the end of the 6 weeks.
Okay. Well, that's nothing. Huh?
I see a lot of judgment with that.
You have judgment with everything. Just have fun. Please have fun. Please, please, please have fun. Oh. Or you have to give me the tablets. Have fun. You're looking very pretty today. See, the tablets are helping. Because your attitude changed. You're not like this black cloud. Oh. What?
In the moments where I feel inadequate, when I feel that I don't have a very positive energy or something like that, I exclude myself from the place, isolate, till I think I feel better. And then I come back. But it became a strong habit that...
Stop having an expectation of how you need to be. Because you feed that. Just be. Oh, I feel powerful and wonderful. I feel fragile and insignificant. Just stay with it. Stop judging it. You have to see this need for drama. Because it always comes from a thought, no? And you have to let the thoughts go. Because you're listening to the thoughts. Oh, this is true. Oh, I need to separate. I'm unbearable. I can't be around people. The only person you can't be with is yourself. You're the one doing all the judgments. No one else is even interested. You know, they're just loving you. Especially in this environment. So break it here. Yeah. I know I'm being very hard today. Oh well. You guys have got to snap out of all this drama. And just be happy. Huh? It's easy to be happy. It takes so much work to be miserable. Tanto, tanto, tanto. Be like the dolphins. Always happy.